The Dallas Cowboys defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers 20-17. Dak Prescott leads the Cowboys on a game-winning drive that included a botched fumble where he was able to recover the ball after getting knocked out from Rico Dowell's hands, and he recovered at the 4-yard line, and it was a 4th down and goal situation, do or die situation, and he found Jalen Tolbert for the game-winning score. And he shook off 3 turnovers, a couple in the red zone and a couple interceptions, but still credit to him. He was able to hang tough, and the Cowboys now have won a couple of games despite losing some good talent on the defensive side with no DeMarcus Lawrence, no Micah Parsons. And they go in on the road in a very rainy environment that was also delayed due to lightning storms in Pittsburgh. And the game started at 9:45 kickoff and ended around 1 a.m. Eastern time. For the Steelers, this is going to be a game where they definitely are going to regret losing, because they had 3 defensive turnovers and a blocked field goal to boot, but couldn't do much offensively. You're outgained 445 to 226, almost double the production. And many people are going to go to Justin Fields as the scapegoat, and they're going to probably clamor to bring in Russell Wilson as the starter. Well, I don't think this is on Justin Fields, because this has just been the culture of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Since Ben Roethlisberger retired, they've been trying to find the next franchise quarterback in Pittsburgh. They tried it with Kenny Pickett, didn't really work out, and they just don't really emphasize the offensive side of the ball. The Pittsburgh Steelers organization is based off of tarred, tough defense. They're a town that was the center of the steel industry way back when. In the 70s, they had dominating defense that translated to 4 Super Bowls in a single decade. Even in the 2010s with Troy Polamalu and Rodney Harrison. And even in the late 2010s, when they had Troy Polamalu and James Harrison, that was a team built on defense with Ben Roethlisberger as a good quarterback that led them to a couple Super Bowls. Well, since Ben Roethlisberger had Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, that was probably the most prolific offense in Steelers history, but they didn't decide to pay Le'Veon Bell, and then they eventually traded Antonio Brown for obvious reasons. The Steelers haven't really focused on offense since. They've made some swings, but they really focus their assets on the defensive end, and that's great. Defense does win championships, but like I was saying last year with the Bears about them going back to this historic identity of defense, well, the NFL is an evolving league, and it's been trending towards offense for a couple of decades now. Let's just face it. Physicality is down. The hitting area has been reduced to below the neck and above the knees. Yes, you got to give credit to Mike Tomlin for not having losing seasons, but since 2016, they haven't won a playoff game. He owns a 8-10 record. So many one-and-done performances where they make the postseason as the 6th or 7th seed, and they flounder in the first round. Is that really success for the Pittsburgh Steelers, a franchise built on championship? When did they settle for just above mediocre being attributed to their success? And if you're looking at the offensive room right now, it's Justin Fields, it's a very mediocre offensive line, an okay running back in Najee Harris, but mostly washed up at this point, and a very moody George Pickens, who we saw have a very not so nice interaction against Jordan Lewis in the waning seconds of the Steelers-Cowboys matchup. And I understand culture is very important, but like I said with the Chicago Bears last year, it's time that you evolve or die out, and I'd recommend that to the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's time to evolve or get left behind in the Stone Ages.